Right. So hopefully in about a couple of seconds the YouTube one kicks in. Probably the beginning part won't actually kind of start until this bit starts. So I'll keep my introduction kind of short for the time being, because hopefully for the next 5 seconds it might just kick in. Come on. Do it. Now? Do it now! I have no idea what it's doing, but it'll kick in a second. Come on. Hey, here we go. Here we go. Here we freaking go. We even got an advert. Right, so we're actually live now because the YouTube section is working. So, yes, welcome. This is the final episode of Rewrite for Season 1, because Season 2 just got announced as well. I was like, oh, great. Depending on how well this one goes, we'll see if Season 2 might be kind of promising, because, yeah, Episode 12 was a part of baloney. So, I'm not going to be honest with you, I'm not looking forward to this ending because I kind of maintain it might be a little bit rushed, but who's to goddamn say? They might actually just pull it out of their hats and give us a good final. But, I don't know. You've got 1 minute to go on the episode itself, so let's just see if everything's working on this. And it appears to be. Cool stuff. It appears to be. Hello, one viewer. But, I don't know. I'm kind of maintaining that maybe they might just give us a sort of good final. Like, I kind of hope. Because, I mean, this anime had some promising moments. It's just it kind of got sunk underneath its, like, levels of mediocrity that it just couldn't fix because of this actual runtime the anime had. Because, again, the actual episode count of this anime kind of was working and it's, like, against it because it just couldn't work with 2 episodes. And you saw it last week, just how they rushed through the entirety of that final bit until Kagari actually kind of gave out her salvation, and now we're kind of wondering what's going to happen next. Will they actually save the world? Will the world go poof, and then new route start? We're not too sure. But I'm kind of maintaining something bad's going to happen. I don't know. We've got 10 seconds to go, so only time will tell. Because what card do we actually get? His harem. I'm not too sure. What's Sammy actually become the next, whatever they call it, the priests? I have no idea. But hopefully, at one point, the promise I made with you. Well, it's kind of in that title. Okay, hopefully we're getting somewhere. It's gonna load. We actually gonna get subtitles, just because I don't want to start this one yet before. Get 5 seconds, because it tends to. Oh no, right. It's not gonna get an intro because it's one episode. Didn't we see this kind of thing before? There, it's got subtitles. Cool. We're getting somewhere. Bit choppy, but we're getting somewhere. I feel like I've seen this somewhere before. Oh no! Not Chibi Moth! At least he's here. So, I'm guessing Yoshino knew of it as well. He knew the impending doom. But again, it's confusing because these characters all seem like they're in on it, but they weren't telling you whether or not they were. So the whole thing with him, it kind of seemed like he was in on the whole entire thing. Because the way he acted just gave that kind of idea, but again, he never hinted at it. And kind of just like went, you might have something to do with it, but never really kind of went further than that. It's okay to like a bro. I should just like took that actual rocket shot like it's nothing. It's like, pfft. Okay, all right. I guess it was show don't tell kind of thing with that whole entire event. Not too kind of. Hopefully, I might just give some context. Not too sure. Right, so I'm guessing this is the beginning of the end of last episode. No destruction, man. No, it's a destruction of the world, because Salvation's not doing its damnedest to save us. It's actually destroying us instead. He's off. Jesus Christ, a bicycle. When they're kidding about destroying the world, they weren't fracking kidding, were they? The Saints is what the name of the thing that Senri's going to become, wasn't she? It's the Saints who's remembered. They weren't kidding. It is the world's demise. Whoa. Hold up a second here. It's like, that's pretty, that's kind of a lot going on. So wait, stuff's happened afterwards then? Stuff's happened after the end of the episode and then now? Stuff's happened in between? Because if I remember correctly, she was still kind of freaking out last episode. So I'm guessing the beginning part we've got must have kind of filled in the gaps, sort of? Oh, fracking hell. It's like coming straight up Final Fantasy. See, that was another thing that was foreshadowed in the opening. This whole entire thing that it showed Sakuya, but then it kind of shows Sakuya in a different form. So, is that him? Not too sure. She's back to normal now. At least Koko's back to normal. Yeah, now you have the whole entire thing with Guardian wants to take down the key. And Guy wants to protect it. Still can't get past the grandpa with a chainsaw. Still can't get past that. Don't want too much, boy. He's got a sword, it means he's strong. Soundtrack's pretty good. I'll give it that. I'll give it that. The soundtrack is pretty freaking good. I mean, it's kind of a better final than I imagined. So I'm guessing it is him then. I'm telling you, the opening hinted at this whole entire thing that he has. But again, I don't think it mentioned it. I might be wrong. The anime never mentioned this, but I think it had some kind of foreshadowing. Because anime likes to do that. Bet it is. His brain trembles. I mean, this is kind of slightly better than I imagined so far. Like, I can't fault it too much than I actually imagined originally, but there's still kind of things I'm confused about. She's sitting there just like shouting, just like, mate, you got, just be careful, bro. Well, freaking hell, he just literally turned to Ichigo. Like, I know he's voiced by Ichigo, but he literally just almost straight up turned into Ichigo. Where's your Bonkai, bro? What does that mean? Of course it won't tell us. Is that gonna be Shizuru on the motorbike? Please let it be Shizuru on the motorbike. It's all done anime in a nutshell. What the hell are you going on about? It is Shizuru on the motorbike. I like it. He's gonna whack him in the head and go boom. Best girl here to save the day. Oh well, she's gone. Oh yeah, because I just remembered something. She went against his rules, didn't she? And I'm gonna fight. Forgot she had dual knives. It's gonna be very much a show. Don't show us the actual fight itself, yo. Kind of fight. For Shizu's not there to heal him. Turn to a tree man. So they go, she saves him. Huh. It's like left-hand development. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Mighty interesting. That's on a motorbike, damn. Every single goddamn day that guy goes on a motorbike. Every day! So the ribbon was embedded into Kotoru. That's interesting. That's for taking up his life. So they're leaving now. Oh, okay. So the guy's gonna get annoying after a while. She's not even looking at him. So the world's gone down a shin pan. Huh. So it's the Incredible Hulk. Okay, to get this straight, she's gone back into her other form, so the other personality is taken over because Sucker is dead. So I'm guessing the whole entire thing has happened now because it showed us. Like that's what I'm getting. So what's Schumacher even doing there? She's the next one in line, isn't she? That's what they said originally. I swear there's a film that's a man literally turns into a tree. I cannot remember the name of the film, but I swear there's a film like that. Fracking trees, yo, they'll destroy the world. They grant you the ability to destroy the world. He's gonna save by some contrived manner, isn't he? He's gonna save her by some kind of contrived way, isn't he? Like it's gonna happen. Like, girl, can you not see I'm turning into a tree? Oh, please don't. Please don't. Don't be. Don't. Oh, for God's sake. That's. Wait, so is the whole entire destruction of humanity just completely stopped now? Or is it still going on? Because he touched her boob and it just kind of just like stopped her screaming. And of course, he has to save the world. He's a protagonist. Yes, Yoichiro will save the world. Because of course you won't do it. But it's going to be the thing that just actually does change the whole entire ruling. Because don't forget, guys, the destruction entity is going on in the background. Let's not forget that completely. It's still going on. Chumov alright? Is he alright? Is Chumov okay? Because if it's not, I can't accept this. Because if Chumov goes, the hell kind of fight does she have? Lucia's doing okay, I guess. No, it's Lucia. Oh no, she ain't doing fine. Wait. Did they die? I'm still so confused. It's like the whole entire episode in the middle. Because they're all dead. And they were fine last week. But I know the beginning showed the fact that she was back like this, but when did she change? Because she still held on to the whole entire idea of keeping her humanity. Like, yeah, so I guess if Schumacher would bring her back, but I guess she would come back because, like, nah, I'm this one now. There, she's back. She's back. She's back. And she's gone. Okay. Kazuki's fine now. Well, not really fine, but he's back to where he was originally. But she doesn't have power anymore because she'll be like holding like nothing. So I'm guessing once he's gone, she loses her power. But again, I should be crying right now, but none of these characters have been developed to a point where I can care that much about them. So all of these events are happening, and I'm just like, well, okay. It's more confused than anything else. Don't let Chibimov carry on. He's like, Chibimov's like one of the shining lights of the whole entire anime. Oh no. You make me feel. You give me emotion, guys. So I'm guessing the world's gone. Like, Stena Shimpan. Oh no! Not Haruhiko! No! Freaking hell. They got him as well. Oh, is that Toga? Essica looks like he's gone. He's like, well, I'm out of it, guys. Oh, KFC, man. So this is the opening. This is the very first opening. He's sitting on the table looking at the phone. Because I'm guessing this whole entire thing seems like something I've seen this before. He's turned into hollow form. Babe, he's going hollow. I guess that goes Kotoru as well. He's turned into hollow form. He's turned into a bloody tree. Ichigo's new form was a tree. That was it. That was the whole entire anime. I can't say I'm pissed because I kind of imagined going into this, it wouldn't be that good, but I guess that was something. I did their best. I can't argue with that. I'm more pissed off at the whole entire idea. It seemed like it's about a billion events in between this whole entire anime that we didn't get. Like, that's what it kind of felt like. It felt like there was a whole entire episode in between this one that we didn't get, because the whole thing was Senri and killing Sakura, and then she turned into the other entire form, because last week she was completely fine. Like, she still held on to the whole entire thing. Yeah, she was saying, oh yeah, the world's going to end, this is the end of the world, and I think she was sort of turning into the other form, but then she's kind of trying to keep on to humanity, because I'm guessing she turned into it in between. So that did happen, and the whole entire thing that everyone was ascending, so really... Yes, salvation happened, and season 2's happening. I'm guessing when you think about it, it could have ended either way, because then it could have started a new route and just went away with the original plot lines. I guess that could have happened. So ask me what it means. Ask me what it... Oh, I got it. Is that like hint at the moon and terror route? I don't know. Probably is. And that's the end. Oh, fracking hell. What can I say? It's better than I expected. Still not 100%, excuse me, on board with anime. I mean, excuse me again. Last week's episode was still a bucket of piss, and I don't think it's kind of redeemed itself too much, because again, it seemed like they were kind of rushing events. But granted, they did what they could, so I'm not complaining too much. I mean, this anime had its times when it was actually going to become good. It had its times when it had glimmers of hope that there was actually some sort of idea that maybe this anime was going somewhere, going down a cohesive structure, going to a point where it could end in a serviceable manner. Yes, it did end. It had an ending. I mean, there's two new routes announced for season 2, so that's not too bad. So this whole entire thing with the salvation and I'm guessing the destruction, because everyone was ascending, kind of was alright, because when you think about it, the two new routes could just start again. So that's not too bad. But still, it's just there was too many episodes of complete mediocrity that it kind of diminished this whole entire anime overall. It just didn't... I mean... Episodes 8 to 10, or episodes 8 to 11, were pretty freaking good. I did really like them overall. I defended the anime because, again, the anime was quite relentlessly paced. Like, really freaking relentlessly paced. And I said to myself, look, okay, if I accept this, I can go into enjoying this anime. And I did for a little bit. I enjoyed it. But then episode 2 came along, completely just pissed in the bucket and ruined it. Literally. And then it just kind of ended... alright. It just ended alright. That's the main thing I do take away. So I'm saying, it ain't the whole anime, it's just, season 2 was just announced. But it's just, I don't know, I guess it needed its time. It needed at least another 12 episodes, or maybe 24 more, to actually kind of get this whole entire arc fleshed out. Because, again, you had the whole entire first 7-ish episodes dedicated to these characters, dedicated to developing these characters, and when they were ascending, I was meant to feel something for them, because the anime was so rushed in the beginning to actually get to this one point, actually kind of bring in these characters. I couldn't feel anything for them, because again, yes, I understand my heart, Lucy is the best girl, but still, when she was ascending, didn't feel one thing, because again, they just didn't develop these characters enough. They didn't develop these characters good enough to a point where I could actually serviceably care. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not too sure. But I'm so disappointed, because the first episode had so much promise. Literally had so much going for it, and the way it kind of just panned out, it seemed like it was going somewhere. Episode 8 really just kind of put all of the pieces in line to actually go somewhere, and it looked like it was. And then episode 12 came along and completely just went and just rushed through the entirety of that whole entire thing. Because again, look, between episode 12 and 13, there could be 4 more episodes. There could have been. In essence, the whole thing with Mido, if I'm remembering correctly, Mido, that whole entire section, that needed a whole entire little bit, maybe 20 minutes, just to flesh out his character. Just doesn't know I could feel something for him. Because again, as I said last week, his backstory is quite tragic. But I couldn't feel anything for him because it was shoehorned in before he died. I'm kind of sitting there going, guys, I would have liked that if it was in the beginning. But no, you put it there. So I can't feel anything for him. Same thing happened with Lucy as she's doing the rest of the cast. Bar a few characters, which I kind of did enjoy. Her daddy got fleshed out to a point where I could care for her. Granted, how he actually kind of brought her back to the normal state that she was in before kind of did irk me. Because I was like, oh, he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it. He did it. I was like, Opie saved the goddamn day when in the end, but when she said, I'm guessing she said kill me, he's like, well, nah, fam, I can't do that. I was kind of sitting there going, well, yeah, he ain't gonna do that, is he? Come on, be literal here, girl. If you say to him to kill you, he won't do it, so just don't think about that. But, I don't know, at least it ended. At least it gave a serviceable ending. It just needed its time. It needed just to go further with what it was trying to do. It was trying to do good things. Like, it was trying to do many good things, but Aniplex, I'm guessing, is the licensor or the actual people that kind of funded this project. I'm not too sure. I mean, 8-Bit kind of were the studio, but I think someone funded it in the larger context. They didn't give them enough time. I don't really kind of fault 8-Bit in any way, shape, or form because they did what they could with the time they had. They couldn't just go in with the anime-only route and just leave it as that. They needed to kind of just bring in the certain characters and their arcs just to kind of develop these characters, but they didn't do a good job of it. That it just didn't work in the end. But I don't know. It needed at least 30. It needed at least as many episodes as JoJo Part 4. It needed at least 39 episodes just to kind of flesh out everything to a point where I could actually just understand truly what the name of Christ is actually happening here. Because again, I was so confused. In this episode, I was confused. I was trying to put the pieces together, but I was still confused because again, it was more show, don't tell. Like, it was just showing you these different things that's happening, but it wasn't telling you when these things happened. Like, in essence, yes, understood the world was getting destroyed. Salvation was happening. Salvation really wasn't going the way they panned out. And in essence, it was destroying the world. This world was crumbling before their eyes. But again, the whole thing with Akane, or saying we name it that way, it needed its time in between because, again, it showed her normal, but then it showed her change this episode. In essence, she was still coming back. Schumacher kind of brought her back, but then they just ascended, and that was the end of that. So it's kind of like, okay, so what's happening with the Saints? The Saints, again, that was another thing that was hinted at, shown, but never developed. We got to know how they feel, what they feel, why they want to destroy the world, which, again, was fleshed out. So I did like how they included that. I mean, I don't know, because we got to know who they were, how they felt, why they were trying to destroy the world, trying to make the world kind of reset, because again, they believe the world has no salvation. They've kind of seen the world in a bad light. Every single memory they have from their ancestors and going forward have been absolutely piss poor. So you can understand why they're doing it. But then again, I don't know, just kind of changed. It kind of just, I don't know. I reckon it just needed a bit more time as well. Just a tad little bit more. It just needed its time everywhere just to kind of just be fleshed out. Like, I mean, the whole thing with the news reporter girl from Jesus freaking Christ. How many episodes ago was that? It's episode 8, I think it was. Like, I think it was episode 8 when she got brought back in, but then she disappeared after that point. I'm guessing her arc completely ended. But again, I want to see what happened to her after that point. Did she actually ever kind of go back to the way she was? I'm not too sure, but who's to say? Who's to know? I don't know. Maybe I should go and play the visual novel and actually get my hands on it one day, because I know Rewrite Plus is coming out here on PS4, but who knows when? Who knows when? But I guess it was all right. That's the main thing I get from the whole entire anime. What would I kind of score it out of 10? Whew, I don't know, because it was as disappointing as Bungal Stray Dogs, but it had its times when it was actually kind of good. Like, it's just this whole entire thing. Also, the other thing to note really was the other thing I always kind of hinted at, which I think a lot of people got pissed off on me saying, was the fact they kind of just foreshadowed all these events to kind of just almost evoke this whole entire idea that it was actually trying to like bring all together all the roots. And it somewhat worked and it somewhat didn't, because again, I kind of want to know more about certain events that were happening, and it just didn't kind of get shown too much. But I don't know, I enjoyed my time. It kind of did hurt my head most of the time. I didn't really know truly what was happening most of the time. But again, there was a dynamic in these characters, which again, they weren't developed, but the actual dynamic they shared as friends did actually work in its favor. I did actually care for Kotoru to get back the occult club. I wanted him to get those people back because they were friends. They actually worked together. Each of them worked in their own right together. So again, I did like the dynamic they shared. That was kind of the major kind of big point for me. That's the kind of thing I liked the most, was their dynamic. And then I also like Kagali's character, because again, I didn't really imagine her to be this kind of character, but when she was introduced, I kind of liked it. I was like, well, she's actually a pretty freaking great lass, so I actually ain't complaining. So, good on them for that. But, I don't know. Did they, whatever happened to that place they were in originally? In essence, that one where Kotoru actually woke up in like the actual other place, because they got there somehow, and then actually went back to the actual normal place, and the one was destroying. So was that a place that got destroyed as well? Not too sure, but again, this anime poses more questions than it answers. That's the major thing I get. It doesn't actually kind of answer all the questions. I think it kind of wants you to have a knowledge of what really happens in every single one of the arcs before you actually go into this anime knowing that. I think it wants you to know a lot about Rewrite. If you're just an anime-only person going into this show and kind of just think to yourself, okay, so I'm going to get myself a pretty good show out here. Going to get myself a pretty nice show that I actually can distract myself with for 25 minutes. Or 40 minutes was the first episode. But then it kind of... But... Off the train of thought. I think, yeah, it just... If you're going to go into a show like that, I don't think it works that way. I think it wants you to know a bit about the actual visual novel before you actually went into it. So I guess it works in that regard. But if you're an anime only like me, you didn't really kind of know anything about Rewrite before and kind of knew it was a visual novel somewhere, but I didn't really kind of just go out my way to play it, I guess you kind of would feel lost, because again, it was more confusing than anything. I think it works in the whole entire idea that you got a base knowledge of how the events work and what's really going down in the actual visual novel before you actually went into the anime. I mean, I'm guessing that's the whole entire thing. And you had the whole entire idea. They were setting up all these fights in this episode, but they weren't really showing them. The only one we really got to see was Kotoru versus Esuka. That's the only one we really got to see, mostly. I mean, we got to see Saku in a different... I'm guessing it's Saku in a different form. Like, it kind of showed Otori, if I remember her name correctly, Otori kind of saying, oh, Sakuya. I'm guessing he was that form, because again, this whole entire thing, this anime foreshadows and actually shows you all these different things, but it never really kind of develops that. It kind of, I guess the opening kind of showed him like this, but that was it. I guess that's the whole entire thing. It showed you his portrait shot, and it kind of just, I guess it kind of flipped around. It was actually him in a different form. So it was kind of interesting to see. So I'm guessing that got shown, but again, I was completely lost who that person was. I'm guessing it was Sakuya, but again, I could be wrong. I'm not too sure. My brain is confused. That's the major thing I get. That's the kind of major thing I get from this whole entire show. My brain is completely fried. I mean, from episode 1 onwards, I was kind of like, what the hell is really happening here? Like, it's all kind of went to a bigger agenda. The bigger agenda it was mildly disappointing. That's the other thing I kind of know. The bigger agenda it was really going to was kind of like, eh. I mean, if you're just joining this live stream right at the end and you're kind of wondering, should I watch this anime? Whew. No. I wouldn't say so. I mean, if you can get a copy of the visual novel, play that. I wouldn't say watch the anime, because the anime will fracking confuse you. Because it does. It doesn't really... It kind of throws you in the deep end and goes swim. That's the major thing I kind of take away. It throws you into the deep end and tells you to swim. It doesn't really kind of... It doesn't really develop a lot of things. I mean, side note, major tangent here right now, boys. Major tangent. The Earth Dragon. The Earth Dragon. He was evoked. He was shown to be this thing that will go in there saying, hey, mate, I'm going to mess up this whole entire place because I'm a fracking dragon. Look at me. He didn't do jack. Like, I think he kind of took down Kotori's base, her Moe kind of place, but that was it. That was all she did. Oh, I mean, he did, sorry. All the dragon did. It didn't do anything else. I mean, it was kind of disappointing because, again, why would you give it to Meadle? Meadle's like kind of reckless character. I don't think he was the right choice to give the dragon to, but I did it anyway. I was kind of like, it's a really bad idea when you think about it, but I ain't a writer with anime. I'm not too sure. I don't know if I could have written it in any way, shape, or other way, but I mean, this year has been piss poor when it comes to visual novel adaptations. Like, every single visual novel adaptation I've seen thus far, I can remember 2, this one and Nor 9, have been utter piss. Like, really, it has. Like, you kind of see the good visual novel adaptation, like Steins Gate. That's a bloody phenomenal adaptation of that visual novel. White Fox knew what we're doing. I just don't think 8-Bit were cut out to do it. I think 8-Bit had good intentions, but what with they... I can't speak English anymore. But with... I can't still speak English anymore. But with what they had, I don't think they could have done it very well. I don't think they could have given us a good anime because, again, granted, they did Greasius, which kind of turned out to be good, I think. I haven't watched it myself. It seems to be alright. It seems like it's got good reviews. But it seems like they're experienced in it. But again, it just kind of seems like lately they haven't been doing too great. A lot of their animes they've been doing have been kind of bad. Like, not very good animes. So, I don't think they were the right studio they'd be cut out to do it. Granted, if I was going to give it to a studio, I'll give it to White Fox because they know how to adapt a visual novel because they did Steins Gate. But there's a lot of other studios out there. Bones could have done it. I mean, there could have been a lot more other studios you could have given this project to that could have done a better job. I mean, if I remember correctly, also this anime had the exact same director as Greasier as well. So he's experienced in the whole entire field. So what happened here? I think the writer kind of did some things, but I don't know. It was disappointing. I probably have to give it about 4-ish out of 10. Like, 4 out of 10, because the 4 out of 10 really was the 8 to well, can't speak English anymore. Losing my ability to speak English. Like, I think the 4 out of 10 was from episode 8 to 11. That was the actual 4 out of 10, because if I was going to give it for the rest of the whole entire anime, it'd probably be about a 2. Because, holy freaking hell. I was promised it's actually going to be pretty freaking good, but then I kind of a bit pissed. Police cars going down my road because I live in the main road. Because I live in the main road. So if you ever want to know why so many police cars, because I live in the main road and this actually leads to a massive police department. So that's why so many police cars go past. But I don't know. Maybe season 2 might fix the problems. Maybe season 2 might just fill in the holes from season 1 and kind of just fix the whole entire thing. Because again, it seems like it could. It seems like season 2 really could fix the problems the anime has. Don't know, but it says next January, so is it not this January 2017, but 2018 January? Not too sure. But I guess if I'm still here, like, reviewing, I'll probably review it, but people are like, well, frickin' hell, what the hell's Rewrite? I remember what Rewrite was, and I go back to my old videos, I'm like, oh, frickin' hell, what's that anime? But, I don't know. Hope you guys have enjoyed this live stream and this whole entire series of reviews. I've enjoyed myself a little bit reviewing this anime, because, again, it was fun in parts, it was funny, it had its moments of comedic placing, but I think the wider context, it can't. Okay, that's just okay. Side note here. The other thing I haven't actually spoken about, which was one major thing I wanted to speak about, but I was too scared to say it, was the fact of this anime wasted its time. This anime wasted its time on certain scenes. Certain scenes could have been completely cut out, and it could have developed the actual story a little bit more, because it had a kind of sort of sometimes pander. It just didn't work, and I mean. Was episode 12? The whole entire scene, the boss, when it was developing these characters, like, to say sorry to each other. I mean, it was Lucia and Ottilie, I think it was. I think it was those two. They were saying sorry to each other. And that whole entire scene could have been cut out. It could have just, like, gave that 5 minutes to something else, developing the whole entire thing with the Saints. Because, again, the Saints were interesting, but they weren't really kind of fleshed out too much. I mean, they were kind of, but they weren't too much. But, I mean, it had its moments. It just kind of had its other moments which weren't that great. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this live stream. If you want to leave a like, because indeed it helps me quite a bit, do leave a like, because, saying again, it does help me quite a bit. If you want to leave a sub because you enjoyed my content, do leave a sub, because indeed it does help me quite a bit. But until next January, I shall see you guys later with this anime of Rewrite. See you guys then. Bye for now.